Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be showing you a Solar Hunter build that is not boring to run, but actually fun to use. This build is so fun that even your enemies will literally start to dance on the battlefield. What the fuck is happening here? Said build will give you permanent radiant, restoration, and an incredibly low super cooldown so that you could spam your super every few seconds. The super we are going to be using is none other than Blade Barrage, which when activated you will vault into the air and unleash a volley of solar charged explosive knives. And for the build to work, we will need to use the exotic gauntlet Shards of Galanor. Shards of Galanor refund super energy for every hit or final blow that Blade Barrage does, up to a maximum of 50%. But that's not all. For every throwing knife kill you get, it will refund a flat 2.5 to 5% super energy without any mods. Now you and I both know that every strong build in Destiny 2 needs to have some sort of loop, and boy oh boy does this build have an easy yet very strong loop for you to use. As I mentioned earlier, this build will give you two permanent buffs: Radiant, which is a 25% damage buff, and Restoration, which is basically a lot of healing that cannot be interrupted. So you can be in the middle of enemy fire and you will not have to worry about your HP. Here we go. To get started with the build, I will first talk about the abilities that we're going to use, our two aspects, the fragments, and finally the mods and weapons. Timestamps are available if you need. Our first ability is going to be Gambler's Dodge, which fully recharges your melee ability when you dodge near an enemy. For your jump, you can use whichever jump you like, but I personally recommend triple jump since it's just very convenient. For your knives, I highly recommend Knife Trick as your ability, as it is pretty easy to land and does already pretty good damage. For your grenade, you will be rocking the Healing Nade to proc your restoration. Moving on to our two aspects. The first one is going to be Knock Him Down. Knock Him Down enhances our Blade Barrage super, making it launch more explosive knives than normal, and while radiant, ability final blows fully refresh your melee energy, allowing us to use our knife trick melee over and over again. The second aspect will be Gunpowder Gamble, which is a grenade that you get after killing a few targets with a solar damage weapon. This grenade has insane damage and a very large explosion radius. It is basically one large ready-to-go ignition. You can shoot this grenade mid-air to detonate it whenever you want, or just wait on its short fuse to set it off on its own. I'm at the Now, the fragments. The first fragment will be Ember of Beams, which gives your solar super better target acquisition, meaning that it will be easier for us to land all of our Blade Barrage knives, ensuring that we get that 50% super energy cooldown refunded every time. The second fragment will be Ember of Empyrean. This fragment will extend our Radiant and Restoration's duration each time we kill an enemy with solar damage. That could be from our weapons or even our abilities. The third fragment will be Ember of Torches. This fragment will give us and nearby allies the radiant buff each time we cast our melee ability, which is Knife Trick. The fourth fragment will be Ember of Solace. This fragment will cause our radiant and restorations buff to last longer. Last but not least, the weapons. For this build, you'll need to have a solar auto rifle of your choosing. Personally, I recommend the Amit AR2 auto rifle since you can purchase it directly from Banshee 44, and once you get its pattern, you can even craft it yourself, giving you the option to obtain a god roll. For your power weapon, I would recommend something like Dragon's Breath for maximum DPS, but honestly it really does not matter since all you really need is a solar auto rifle. And the reason for that is simply because of the artifact mods this season, specifically Flint Striker, which will give you the radiant buff after getting rapid precision hits or kills with a solar weapon. For your mods, starting with your helmet, you will need to run double hands-on to maximize the amount of super energy you get per knife trick kill. Then your gauntlet, which is Shards of Galanor. You will run heavy-handed, harmonic siphon, and focusing strike. For your chest piece, run triple resist mods depending on enemy damage type. For your leg armor, you need to run recuperation, harmonic scavenger, and solar weapon surge. For your class armor, run triple time dilation. Finally, the loop. Firstly, you need to obtain the radiant buff. This can be done without any help in two ways. 1. Hitting an enemy using your knife trick, or 2. Landing rapid precision hits with your solar weapons. Once you've become radiant, every kill you get with your knife trick will give you super energy and will be fully refunded as long as it was a final blow. In case you miss your knife trick, simply go up to an enemy and use your gambler's dodge to regain your knife trick. From here, you just keep on killing enemies with your melee ability and unleash your blade barrage whenever you get the chance. Make sure you are radiant before using your super, just to make sure that you're maximizing your damage output. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video was informative and helpful. If you have any suggestions on how I can improve my build, please do let me know. See you! Our first ability is going to be Gambler's Dodge, which when fully recharged... No. Our first ability...